Hey, Kindlers, Ty Cohen here, and I want to welcome you to another episode of KindleCashflow.com. I'm actually on my way to see my CPA, one of my most favorite things to do, right? And as I'm driving here, I've got about a 30-minute drive. I thought, what has what has been some of the things that have helped me to make millions and millions of dollars and to be super successful, not only with Kindle publishing, but just in life in general, right? Like successful as a husband, successful as a father, successful as a son, successful as a business person, and successful hopefully as a coach to you and as a mentor to you. And I thought about three of the things that has had the most impact on all of those areas of my life. And I'm going to share those with you. And hopefully they'll help you to do much better with your Kindle publishing business and also do much better in life as well. So the first thing is taking personal responsibility, right? So taking personal responsibility. Nowadays, it's so easy to just blame anyone, like to blame any and everything for why you're not where you want to be. But I see that it's the people that actually say, okay, well, this is what happened. And the reason why it didn't happen is truly because of X. Or in most cases, in 99% of the cases, it's going to be it didn't happen because of you. If you didn't get up early enough, or you didn't stay up late enough, or you didn't put the time in, you didn't put the effort in, right? You didn't do the work. You didn't follow the course step by step exactly as it's laid out. You didn't really go in and go above and beyond. You didn't challenge yourself to be the best. You didn't challenge yourself to be better than you've ever been before, right? You didn't set goals. You didn't go in and just really work on your self-discipline so that you don't make excuses. Normally, when you see someone who has failed at something, typically it's because they did not take personal responsibility and look at why they failed. And, they weren't truly brutally honest with themselves. So I want you to be brutally honest with yourself in whatever goal it is that you're looking to set and say, here's where I need to be. And then track those goals. And if you're not hitting them, look at where you made a mistake at. All right. Look at where you screwed up at and then go back and you can fix it. The best thing that you can ever do is to say, this is where I messed up at, and being 100% honest with yourself, not beating yourself up at this, but being 100% honest and saying, this is where I messed up at, and here's how I can go in and do it differently. Right? So that's the first thing, taking personal responsibility. That alone will put you in a class like nearly by yourself, because almost no one, except for the super successful in whatever area you want to choose, right, have learned to take personal responsibility and not blame other factors. They don't blame the course. They don't blame the fact that they don't have enough time. They don't blame the fact that they may have children or a spouse, and they don't blame that their health might be, not the best. They do not make excuses. Listen, folks, I have every single excuse that I could possibly use to not be successful. I have a huge family. I've got 4 children, right? And spend a ton of time with my children, a lot of time. As a matter of fact, I just dropped my son Tyler off at school. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning to have some personal time to meditate, and then to, help my wife around the house with some things, and then to get my kids up, and then take my son Tyler to school before I jump to the CPA meeting at 9 o'clock, right? I also have sickle cell anemia. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with sickle cell anemia, but it is one of the most painful diseases that someone can have. You go into these bouts of having a sickle cell anemia crisis where you just experience extreme amounts of pain in your chest, your head. It could be your lungs. It could be your arms, your wrists, your legs, anywhere. All right. And because of me having sickle cell anemia, which is something that I was born with, you're actually born with it. I've spent weeks and I spent like days and weeks in the hospital. I've probably been hospitalized, I'd say easily 200 to 300 times in my life. I could have easily used that as an excuse, right? My health is not the best. I've got to be super careful. I can't stress. I've got to make sure I get enough rest. I got to make sure I stay hydrated. But I realize that if I use that as an excuse, then I'm never going to get to the places that I want to be. So instead, I studied and I focused on how can I make my health the best so that it does not become an obstacle for me. That's what you need to do, right? The other thing is, like, I have a wife, I have a significant, right? And my wife loves for me to spend time with her. We spend a ton of time. We spend a ton of time traveling. We spend a ton of time talking and just enjoying one another. Maybe it might be going to the movies. Maybe it might be just sitting around the house, just chilling out, relaxing. It might be at the office working together. And even before we had the financial ability to do so, we've always done that. So you can't let having children or a spouse uh, be an obstacle to you getting to where you want to be. The other thing is time. I have multiple businesses, right? For a long period of my life, I took care of my mom. My mom recently passed. She had stage 4 colon cancer, and she recently lost her battle with cancer. But for a long period of time, I took care of my mom. I helped my wife take care of the kids, spending time with my wife, running 4 different businesses with different business partners. I know about having a lack of time almost more than anyone. So you can't let time be an issue, right? Sometimes you're going to have to cut things out. And you say, listen, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Let me cut off the television. Let me, stop screwing around. Let me make sure that I focus on every single second, every single minute, every single hour, because you can't get that time back. You can get money back. It's not about the money. It's about the time. You can always get more money, but you can't ever get more time. All right. Now, the third thing is be coachable, be teachable, be learnable, be coachable. This is something that I find that a lot of people struggle with, right? They won't get to the point where they're willing to learn from someone else. You don't know everything. And the more that I learn, the more I realize that, man, I just don't know a lot of stuff, right? The more you learn and the more you're willing to learn, and sometimes I'm not talking about just going and just spreading yourself thin and learning just everything that's out there, but I'm talking about you can apply learning and being coachable and teachable to just one area. Let's say it's Kindle publishing. Just going out and just really totally immersing yourself in it and learning as much as you possibly can, right? Learning from the best, learning from people that are actually doing it, that are in the trenches, right? So the third thing is be audacious. Be audacious. Be someone who's willing to do amazing and grand things and take bold chances. Right? We only have one life, folks. Like I said, I just lost my mom uh, Sunday before last, and she lived to be 80 years old. Right? And even in that 80 years, which to most would seem like a long period of time, I'm sure that there were still more things that she would have liked to have done. Right? She lived a very full life, according to her, and those are her words. But I'm sure that even if you live to 120, there's still going to be more things that you want to do, more people that you want to reach, more people that you want to help, right? More charities that you want to contribute to. So be bold enough to get it done, to do it now, to not procrastinate, to not wait, because time is the one thing but we all are super limited on. So this is Ty Cohen from KindleCashflow.com, and I hope this has served you well. But 3 things that have made the biggest impact in my life and uh, helped me to make just a tremendous amount of money, helped me to have a amazing life with my family, my loved ones, the people that I truly care about, including you, right? The individual that's listening to this. Those 3 things are me taking personal responsibility for everything that happens in my life. Everything. Everything. Looking at it and saying, how could I have done this differently? Not to the point where you're agonizing over it, but where you're just saying, hey, maybe I didn't do this the right way. Maybe I screwed up because of me and not because of, you know, my wife or my son or my daughter or, you know, my coworkers or the course or whatever it might be. The second thing is be coachable. Be willing to learn. No one knows it all. Stop being so smart. All right? And be willing to be someone that is willing to take more information in. And be very niched with that information. Very specific. And the third thing is be audacious. Be willing to be bold and make grand moves. All right? We're super limited on time. And the last thing you want is to get to a point where you say, I wish I would have done it. Right, so Ty Cohen here, and I am out. If you want to learn more about Kindle publishing and how you can take your Kindle business to the next level and a simple 3-step process for doing so, I urge you to watch the free training. It's 100% free that I have over at KindleCashFlow.com. That's KindleCashFlow.com. KindleCashFlow.com. I'll see you on the next episode. Make sure that you subscribe and comment. I'd love to hear which of these 3 points you are going to apply and which one you love the most. Which of the 3, just go take a second right now, right? That's all about making, immediate decisions, right? So take a second right now and comment and let me know which of the 3 points you love the most and plan on applying. I'll see you soon.